Alright, Lumix GH7. I'm 7 months late to the party, I know, but at least I could give you some real experience feedback. And also, it is the perfect clickbaity title. Is the Lumix GH7 the right camera for 2025? Yeah, I'm trying to hook you with that one and to make you watch, but before going on about is this camera for you and what is it good for and what is it not, let's be real for a second. It really doesn't matter what camera you're using in 2025. Focus on the story. The camera is secondary. With that moral obligation being set and getting it off of my chest, now we can continue and talking about why the Lumix GH7 is a powerhouse of a camera. Alright, stabilization. Hands down, that is the best IBIS there is. I have been with GH cameras for several years now, and their IBIS beats any other camera that I know. And now with the GH7, it is even better. I literally am biking or ice skating and the footage looks like filmed on a gimbal. There are a few options that optimize the image stabilization for different scenarios, and with each one you lose a bit of the field of view, but it is really worth it. And that are the pros of the small MFT sensor. Yeah, it is not that great at low light scenes, but when it comes to stabilization, it beats all the competitors. Now, let's talk for a feature that was the biggest upgrade in Lumix cameras. The new phase autofocus. Honestly, that is something that I'm still discovering for myself. Since I'm using a camera, I have always preferred the manual focus. And while using the GH5 for 2 years, I really didn't have any other option. And I got used to it. I was completely fine with using just manual focus. Frankly, I think that that's good for a filmmaker to level up his skills and creative mindset. When you're forced to use manual focus, you start thinking one step ahead. But since seeing that I could actually rely on the autofocus of this camera, I have been using it in more and more occasions. And I'm impressed with it. To be able to put this camera on a gimbal while zooming in and out and not worrying about if the image is going to be on focus is a big relief. And there are so many other situations in which I'm amazed that, hey, I can just leave the camera, I can focus on the shot and know that the autofocus will be there and the footage will be focused. Yeah, autofocus is something good and I'm definitely rediscovering it with the GH7 camera, and I would say that now Lumix cameras have a reliable autofocus. Okay, but what really gets me to be so excited about the Lumix GH7? And it is the little things. Yeah, there are a lot of features like 422 colors, shooting at 4K at 120 FPS and still being able to use the autofocus. All the resolutions, Full HD, 4K, 57K, 58K, open gate. I mean, you can use the whole surface of the 3x4 sensor of the camera. You can shoot Apple ProRes, recording with external SSD. All the FPS settings, 24, 30, 48, 60, 120. It goes even up to 240 at Full HD. I mean, there are really endless settings for this camera. But what really grabs my attention is all these little things that make life just so much easier. For example, having custom modes where you can save settings and just switch to the desired settings and don't have to adjust everything manually is just such a time saver. You can set one of the settings with 24 FPS at 5.8K on open gate and high mode stabilization, and the other at 120 FPS and 4K with standard stabilization. Yeah, there is something to mention here. When shooting at 120 FPS, I would suggest not using that much of the stabilization. Sometimes it makes these weird rubs, and I tried it with different modes of the stabilization system. If it's set to high stabilization, it has more of those strange rubs. So I would probably set it to standard or turn it off at all if you don't want to see these macro movements and shakes when you slow down the footage to 20%. Okay, let's get back on the custom modes. Or you can set like any mode you want. You can set one with a different white balance or with a different iris, and just switch through all of this without worrying if you're gonna miss one of the settings. It is really practical. Also, being able to customize all the buttons however you want, turning on and off the feature that you will be using the most, and the fact that you have the additional little red button right beside the lens for recording. It is the best thing when the camera's on the rig and you're holding it with one hand, or you're recording yourself and you're in front of the camera and want to turn it on and off. It is really great. Speaking about little things, did I mention proxies? Now, I have used it once when we were filming a conference, and there were so much and big files that it would take forever if you want to edit something on the go. But this camera can record proxies simultaneously while recording at MAW for ProRes, which is great because you can just edit the footage really quick with proxies or send it over someone to edit it, because they're really small files. You can really easy transfer it and then export the final version with the big files that you have. You can even set it to record the proxies with baked-in 3D woods. And that's one of the little features that makes it up for me. The fact that you can import 3D woods, you can bake it into your footage and have the desired look straight out of the camera. And speaking about 3D woods, let me tell you about the new feature that Artlist added to their platform. It's not just footage and sound and music anymore. Now they have endless gallery of creative woods that you can download and use straight away. You want your colors to be like the movie you watched? You want it more cinematic? Or you want it colder or warmer? Or you want to have that vintage vibe? Well, you got it all on Artlist. And what I like about it is that the woods are not a conversion woods, but just a creative woods. Meaning that you can put it on any footage. Basically, after the conversion takes place, you can swap the creative wood and you can have all these different styles in your colors. So here is the deal for you. If you go to the link in my description and you sign up through the link there for Artlist, you will get 2 completely free months for your annual Artlist subscription. And you will get access to woods, licensed music and footage, sound effects, templates, and many more. Artlist is something like the Lumix GH7 of the digital asset platforms. They are versatile, they got it all. So go to that link and get 2 completely free months. Alright, moving on. Versatile. That is the word that I will be using describing this camera. And one of the reasons is that you have so many options and settings and codecs and colors, and you just can record it in such high quality in one small and compact body that is easy to take anywhere, and it is extremely durable. I'm that kind of a guy that would love to film in the biggest storm just to capture a beautiful shot and not to worry about the instrument that is in my hands. And this camera delivers. It is weather sealed, so I have been using it in rain and snow, and it doesn't glitch after that at all. It works as a brand new. And I think that is what makes it a great hybrid camera, I would say. It have all these tools, stabilization, 10-bit colors that most cameras do have, but the fact is that it is wrapped in this small and compact body that can withstand water, dust, and you can use it in any situation. That is really what wins my heart. I can both take it and film on a boat or film in the middle of a snowstorm, and also I can rig it and film on a professional set and keep the quality. Yeah, the camera is not a full-frame sensor, it is MFT, so it doesn't perform that great in low light, but I'm pleased with most of the shots that it produces in low light. Now, sometimes when you see the footage from a full-frame camera in low light and you see how clean they are, you're wanting your footage to look the same way. And it's a bit frustrating to know that you will have that much more noise in a shot by an MFT sensor. Yeah, and also the other con of the small sensor is that you cannot get the same depth of field and bokeh of the full-frame camera. But for the most stuff that I film, It is manageable, although I love a good bokeh and blurred background, but it is what it is. The thing that makes up for it is that it's a small MFT sensor and you have so much lenses at your disposal that you can use and that can fit this sensor, that you can find the right lens and be at aperture 0.95 and still get that bokeh. What other camera and set you can put on a gimbal and zoom in up to 175 mils, that is over 300 mils in full frame, while keeping the image steady and on focus. Honestly, if you're filming like mainly bigger productions on sets and big ad campaigns and you have a crew, and that is the majority of the work you do, I probably won't recommend a GH7. I would recommend something with a full frame sensor. But if you're something like me and you like to give it all at paid projects and productions, but also basically you like to film everything and you want to have a camera right next to you wherever you go, I think the GH7 is the right fit for you. There is one con, something that I'm so frustrated with this GH7 camera. At the GH5 it was so much easier to shoot at low shutter speed. I just have to turn down the shutter speed and it goes all the way down to 8 or 2 frames per second. And honestly, it's such a bummer to not be able to do that. I have to go to variable frame rates, then to set the frame rate to 1 or something like that. I'm even not sure, mostly when I shoot low shutter speed since I'm using the GH5. But yeah, that's really frustrating. Lumix, make it easier, please. I want to use this feature fast and to not bother with anything else besides turning the little scroll down. There is a lot that can be said about this camera comparing it to others, and it really seems like it has it all. And it does. It is versatile, as I said, and I like that a lot. But in the end of the day, it is an instrument, and how you use that instrument is more important. So, use whatever you have, give your best, strive for the better, and be sure to like this video, leave a comment down below what's your favorite feature about the Lumix GH7, and if you're considering to get one, if you don't have one, I'm not sure if that's the right fit for you, make your research. I hope that this video helped you at some level, giving you my experience, sharing some footage. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video.